to Intermediate Level English Language Arts. And now we move on to the last lesson for week 4. Writing a Science Observation Report. Okay, so what are our objectives for this lesson? We have 2. To be able to know important things to take note of during a science observation, and then to be able to construct a science observation report. Okay, so writing a science observation report, right? Science observation reports are basically reports that state how a science experiment or a science demonstration is conducted. Okay, science observation reports are used to relate the experience of the event to others. So whenever there's a science demonstration or a science experiment going on, the science observation report will be there to just basically tell the story as how or what happened during the whole science demonstration or science experiment. We have an example here. This one's actually taken from your books. So you could just look at them in your books, right? They're basically just there on page 486. Okay, so the title of the science observation report is Why is the Sky Blue? Okay, we have 3 major parts: the procedure, observations, and conclusion. Procedure. I filled the glass with water until it was about 2/3 full. I added 1 teaspoon of milk and stirred it. Then I stirred it. Then I took the glass to a dark room. Next, I held the flashlight above the glass. Then I put the flashlight on the side of the glass. I stood on the other side. Finally, I put the flashlight under the glass. I looked down into the water from the top glass. Observations. The small particles of milk suspended in the air scattered the light from the flashlight. I observed that the bluish color can be seen when I put the flashlight above the water. But when the flashlight was put on the side of the glass, the bluish color was replaced by a slightly reddish color. And lastly, when I placed the flashlight under the glass, I saw darker red color. Conclusion. I assume that the experiment contains what happens when the sunlight passes through the atmosphere. Sunlight is a mixture of colors. It is true, then, that sunlight is broken down into different colors as it passes through the atmosphere. These colors bump into dust particles and are scattered in the sky. You notice the 3 different parts? There's procedure. The first thing, procedure. What did you do? Okay? Here in the procedure, you're just going to be really relaying the things that you've done. Step by step. What is the first thing you did? What's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? Okay? You can see it here, right? It's usually 1 to 2 paragraphs explaining what you did. Observations. What did you observe? Okay? Here, you will tell the things that you've observed first, not the things that you've concluded or the things that you understood already. No, just write what did you observe. What were the things that you noticed during the whole experiment or while you were doing the experiment or while you were doing the demonstration, right? Basically, that's your observations. What did you observe? What did you see? And lastly, what did you learn? Conclusion. Here in the conclusion, you will be writing the things that you've learned, that you've realized. Okay? So depending on the science experiment, the conclusion is usually done at the end. Okay? Now, those are the 3 very important parts of a science observation report. Okay? The procedure, the observation, and then the conclusions. Now, okay, what will you do? Pre-write. Perform this science experiment in class. What science experiments you're in? You will be notified a week before. I will be giving you the instructions for it. So if you're watching this in advance, right, you'll be expecting this a week before. Okay? You will be preparing the materials and then we will be conducting the experiment in class. List down the different things you have done and observe. What did I do? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It's up to you how many steps that you did. And then what did I observe? List them all down. When you're done, make the things you've listed into paragraphs. Label each as procedure for the things you've done, observation as the things you've observed. And then after that, after you've labeled you've done the procedure and observation, give 1 paragraph about your conclusion, okay, or the things you've learned. So take note, for the procedure and observation, it needs 1 to 2 paragraphs, okay? Then when you're done with that, go to your revise. Answer these questions. Did I provide a clear procedure? Did I express my observations clearly? Did my conclusion summarize the whole experiment experience? Did I use logical transition words in writing the procedure, such as next, or first, or last? Okay? Do all my subjects agree with my verbs? Make sure that you have yes on all of these, and if you have yes on all of them, proceed to the next one. Edit. Check for spelling, grammar, indentation, and punctuation mark errors. And then when you're done with that, publish. Write the science observation report of a science experiment done in class in your notebooks or pad papers. The observation must have the three parts: procedure, observations, and conclusion. Write 1 to 2 paragraphs per part. So initially I told you to write 1 paragraph for the conclusion. You can add another one if you find it important or necessary to do so. But I just strongly suggest 1 paragraph for the conclusion. Okay? Write science observation as the activity title and then give it a title. Upload it online. Okay? And that pretty much ends our lesson on writing a science observation report.